Blade Runner is a 1982 science fiction film directed by Ridley Scott, starring Harrison Ford, Sean Young, Rutger Hauer, and Eric James Olmos. It is a loose adaptation of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by the same guy who wrote the short story Minority Report, Philip K. Dick. And the basic story is Deckard is forced by the police boss to continue his old job as replicant hunter. This time, his assignment is to eliminate 4 escaped replicants from the colonies who have returned to Earth. Before starting the job, Deckard goes to the Tyrell Corporation and he meets Rachel, who is a replicant girl that he falls in love with. And those that escape and return to Earth are hunted down and retired by special police operators known as Blade Runners. And it takes place in a dystopian future of Los Angeles of 2019, in which genetically engineered replicants are visually indistinguishable from adult humans, are manufactured by this powerful corporation to work on off-world colonies. That's basically the simple plot of Blade Runner. Now, to be honest with you, this was my very first time seeing this, and I have to be honest, I never seen this before, and I was debating on watching this movie at first because I didn't know which version to watch, and also so many people were saying this is a good movie. Oh, no. And then I decided to give it a chance. And yes, I did. I gave it a chance, and this movie isn't that bad. This movie is a great film. When this movie first came out, some were very displeased with the pacing. I don't mind the pacing. It's only an hour and 57 minutes. It doesn't feel boring. It doesn't drag. It doesn't feel like it's missing something. And other part is the complexity and the visuals, but this movie underperformed when it first came out, but it became a cult classic film. The production design in this movie is great. It has a retrofitted theme. It's a leading example of neo-noir cinema. It's pretty good. The design of the movie looks very beautiful-like, dream-like, it's futuristic-like. Otherwise, all of the design, and Ridley Scott, he credits a painting Nighthawks and Metal Hurlings as model sources, and he also drew in on the landscape of Hong Kong on a very bad day, and the design of this movie is pretty good. You have some very iconic shots in here by the cinematographer. Cinematography is done by Jordan Cronenweth, and he does a good job with cinematography. I think the cinematography is beautiful looking. Now, Ridley Scott and Harrison Ford, they did have some conflict when making this movie, but this was a pretty good one. And yes, Harrison Ford, he did like the voiceovers, but the narration, it works with this movie. The design, you have some very amazing designs. You have the Void Camp-Off machine, which is a fictional interrogation tool. It's kind of like a lie detector test thing in the future. And the music in here by Vangelis is melodic composition, futuristic synthesizers. It's very, very, very amazingly well done. It's beautiful. But the special effects are good. This was before the CGI age now, and they use non-digital technology to the fullest. You use models, miniatures, matte paintings, and motion control. So I respect them, Ridley Scott, and the visual effects team for doing this, because it was only 1982, and people were very mixed. But now the movie is going on to be a cult classic, and a lot of people love it. This is and I can see why. This is a sci-fi classic, and there's so many different cuts of this movie, and I haven't even gotten to the acting in this movie yet. The acting from everyone is great. Harrison Ford is great as Deckard. I really like his performance in here. He doesn't have the Millennium Falcon or the fedora and the whip like Indiana Jones. This is a very different part for him. Rutger Hauer, I like him as the villain. All the acting is great. Sean Young, who plays Rachel, is great. Eric James Olmos is great. Everyone does a good job with the acting. I like the themes in this movie. You have a lot of multiple dramatic and narrative mirrors. You have film noir, characters of femme fatale, narration by the protagonist, very awesome cinematography, and giving the hero a questionable moral outlook. And I like that, to extend to include the reflections upon the nature of his own humanity. And this is a literal science fiction movie, and it also draws on biblical images and delves to implications of technology on the environment and on society by reaching to the past. And all of these thematic elements is pretty good. And the question at the end, is Deckard a human or a replicant, has been ongoing since its release, and Ridley Scott has confirmed that in his vision Deckard is a replicant. And then we have a unicorn dream sequence, which was in the director's cut, but I watched the theatrical version. Now again, the acting is great in here. There are so many different versions of this movie. You have the original work print version, which ran an hour and 53 minutes, which was shown for audience, and they hated it. There's two other versions shown. The US version, which is an hour and 57 minutes, and the international cut, which is the Criterion edition, is an hour and 57 minutes. Ridley Scott's director's cut, which is an hour and 56 minutes, and the final cut, which is an hour and 57 minutes. And the final cut is the only version which Ridley Scott had complete editorial control. And this movie has a very cultural impact. My favorite shot in this movie is a screenshot of a police spinner is flying through the cityscape right next to a building which has a large woman's face projected and writing and pictures on it. A screen can be seen. I like that. Those effects has influenced many science fiction films. And it wasn't a success with North American audiences, but it was popular internationally, and it got called classic. And Denis Villeneuve, who is the director of Prisoners and the new Blade Runner movie coming out next month, this movie is very influential, and it also is an important influence to the style and the story of Ghost in the Shell movies. So I have to say that I'm glad I gave this movie a shot. This is a pretty entertaining film, and if you have yet to see this movie, my recommendation, I give this my highest recommendation. I'm going to give this my Joshua Drake Rainbow Seal of Approval and an A+, because this is that darn good. You need to see this movie for yourself. And let's get ready for Blade Runner 2049, which comes out October 6th. We got Harrison Ford back. Ryan Gosling, gorgeous Ana de Armas, and we have the original writer back, and Ridley Scott is the executive producer, and please don't kill Harrison Ford off again. And this movie is set, the new film is set decades after the first film, so it was supposed to come out in 2018 of next year, but it comes out October, so pretty good. Pretty good. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of Blade Runner down below. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Which version of the movie do you like? Do you like the theatrical cut, the director's cut, or the final cut? I'm not going to mention the international cut and the workplay. And if you have yet to watch this movie, my advice is watch the director's cut or the theatrical cut. Those are my suggestions. And if you like this, you can come here. We can all have a good time.